Ryan, please do not tell me that crypto winter just started. What is going on in these markets? Is this the bottom? Is it all over? What is this the shakeout before 100K? What's going on, man?
Out within the hour for sure, man. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. And it's a very, very special episode for all you viewing, and especially for me and Logan. Do you know why? Or did you forget?
Do I know why?
I got you something for this because it's a really special show today. Logan, it's our 100th episode of Moon or Bust.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you count replays, it is.
Oh, well,
so
I
had Aiden.
Aiden
is recalculating the numbers.
Okay.
I think we've probably done around 5 to 6 replays, so we're probably 5 episodes away from 100.
So we got to start the countdown now. I didn't realize we weren't counting those. I got you a big present.
Oh shoot, bro! What? Well, I mean, maybe
you'll find out in 5 episodes.
Yeah, you gotta save it. You gotta save it. I don't want to spoil the surprise or anything. But yeah, we are getting pretty close to 100 episodes. That's kind of nuts. Like, it seems like the time has gone by really quickly. We've talked to so many crazy people along the way. Maybe one day we should do like a look back on our. That's what we should do for the 100th episode.
Yeah.
100th episode special. We're gonna go back through all of them, find our favorite clips, find our favorite moments. That has to be the way to do it. But I want to know how you guys are doing. I'm gonna toss it out to the chat. Give me a 1 if you're bullish. Give me a 0 if you're bearish. Drop 1 if you're bullish, 0 if you're bearish. Drop them in the chat. Ryan, are you a 1 or a 0 today?
I'm a 1 today.
You're bullish today.
I'm always bullish.
You're bullish. How are you bullish on a day like this?
Because I can zoom out and everything goes up with time in crypto. As long as you're in good projects, which I tend to believe.
So what projects are you in then?
Well, I'm almost out of Ethereum for my NFTs. I got my Mutant Ape still, which I'm holding, which I really probably should have sold. Hindsight's 2020. Back last week after the land sale, the other side land was selling so high and mutants were at 40 ETH. Now that's all plummeted down. Now I'm left with my bags. But we got NFT NYC coming up. We got ETH NYC coming up, and we got Ape Fest coming up all in June. That could be a catalyst for Bored Ape Yacht Club. We got the merch on today, so maybe we can pump the bags there. And we got some new swag. I don't know if you guys can see it from way over there.
Hold on, let me zoom in. Wait. It's almost there. Let me take
latest Moon or Bust cap
this is
just dropped. Got Benzinga embroidered on the back, so you can wear it backwards. Don't be too flashy. Don't always want to show off the apes. Then you got Moon or Bust on the side to rep your favorite live stream.
But wait for it. What's the front?
It's got our mutant apes embroidered on the front. This hat is fire, guys. It's on swag.benzinga.com.
They don't even know I own a mutant.
I'll model it for you guys. This is what it looks like when you're wearing merch to the club.
Dude, that's awesome.
Looks pretty cool.
Where can I get one of those?
Swag.benzinga.com.
Is there a discount code?
There is a discount code, but you're going to have to DM me on Twitter for it. I can get you 25% off, and we have a 100% off code, so maybe we give away one hat too.
I am
it's only
down
fair,
for
right?
it. Yeah, all right. If you follow both Ryan and I, send us both a message. Just say GM. We'll send you that discount code. And we'll pick one lucky winner who sends something other than GM, something additionally to GM that makes us laugh the most. If you want the free hat, okay? So DM us a joke for a free hat today. I'll pull up the Twitters right now so you can see them. We got Ryan at Ryan on Chain, the one and only. Why does it still look like this? Come on now. There we go. There's Ryan's. There it is. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. All right, Ryan. Well, while I'm pumping my own Twitter account, can you talk to us about the markets? What is going on?
The markets seem a little bit fucked right now. We're going down. We crashed yesterday, and we were expecting a 75 basis point rise, and we got 50, right? So that was kind of surprising to me. We saw immediate jump right after in crypto and in typical stocks, and we went up maybe 5%, but now we've crashed back down far below what we were trading at before. We were at around 40,000, correct me if I'm wrong, and now we're trading at around 36,000. So now I'm wondering, is 30K going to be the support level? Are we in a bear market? Are we going to have to wait to see new all-time highs for a year plus? I don't know. I think it's definitely a big possibility at this point.
That is the most bullish thing I've heard all day. When Ryan thinks it's crypto winter before Bitcoin has hit $100,000, I am buying that.
Button seller. We need producer Rohan here to fix the buttons.
All right. Yeah. So Ryan, we've been doing the show for 100 episodes. The whole time you said Bitcoin's going to 100,000 before crypto winter. Have you actually changed your mind? If so, what convinced you?
I haven't changed my mind, but I need to acknowledge the possibility that we are in a bear market. And even now, I'm feeling good, right? We're at over 30K and we're looking at $30,000 for support. So don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to 15,000 or 10,000. I think we'll hold well above the previous all-time highs from 2017. And honestly, that's got me feeling pretty comfy with my bags, knowing that, support could be at 30,000, maybe it's at 25,000. But even if we are in a long-term bear market, I think I'll survive. I survived the last one. I think I'll survive again. And this is the time to be accumulating crypto. Obviously not financial advice, but you want to get it when it's down. You don't want to be buying the top and suffering through losses for a couple of years before you see any big gains. And Logan, if you pull up the chart that I put in the planning doc, there's a logarithmic regression rainbow. So we can see the price action throughout history. Maybe it's not on there, but you can see that we are in an accumulation zone. We're traveling through the lower part of the rainbow that it traded in back in 2018, 2019, which makes me think that could be a good time to accumulate right now.
Is this the one you wanted?
That is not the one. That's not logarithmic. It's exponential.
Uh-oh. Maybe this one?
Maybe I deleted it because I didn't want it on the Ethereum chart. Yeah.
All right. Well, regardless.
What's your take, Logan? Do you think we go back down to 30K? Do you think we'll hold 30K as support? Where the heck are we going?
Darn, this doesn't work. Okay, so before I get started, I want to say I'm not a trader, and I did not look at these levels ahead of time. But that being said, it can still be interesting. So here is what I see is that we're testing this level right here again. 33K is bottom of the wick from earlier. Here's an interesting metric that I saw the other day is basically max pain level, right? How far down, from the top does it go before rallying again? And I think that we're pretty darn close to where that level is. Yesterday, we weren't there, right? So even then, we still had some room to go. Today, we might have found that room. I think this is definitely a kind of a turning point. I don't know. We might see 33. Wouldn't surprise me entirely, but I do tend to think that it's going to start going up pretty quickly soon.
How soon do you think? Are we talking weeks here? Are we talking months?
No, definitely months. Within the next 3 months, I think we'll probably see a rally of some sort. I mean, I don't want to be too specific because that's not what I specialize in.
What about the theory that there's just going to be perpetual market cycles for different asset classes? Now that we have DeFi tokens and we have NFTs and we have these major layer ones, they could all kind of fluctuate, go up at different points. I'm seeing that theory all around Twitter lately. Do you think there's any merit to that?
Sorry, I got an email from the guest. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. Do you think there's any merit to, fluctuating market cycles between NFTs, big layer ones, and altcoins?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so historically, we saw Bitcoin run, ETH follow, alts follow that, right? Now NFTs enter the mix, and I tend to think that NFTs kind of precede the rest of the markets, in the sense that people are interested in crypto. They're paying attention to it, which they aren't right now. I wouldn't say retail is paying attention to it right now on the scale that they sometimes do. So when that happens again, it goes sideways, there's a correction, that's when we'll see NFTs, I think, top out. Then, when Bitcoin goes towards 150, ETH goes towards, 10, 15K, people are going to be selling their NFTs to get that ETH, to stack that ETH. That was the original point of NFTs, was to accumulate more Ethereum or more Ether to stack your bag even bigger. So people will not miss out on that and don't expect them to.
What about DeFi tokens? We've been in a bear market for DeFi tokens now for over a year, and the charts are not looking good at all. Do you think we see a resurgence? Could we have another DeFi summer, or do we have to wait for these major players like Ethereum and Bitcoin to rally before we see DeFi tokens take off again?
Yes, I tend to think so. There could be some sort of, mass adoption event or some sort of, outside factor playing into massive adoption of DeFi sometime soon here, but I tend to think that people will discover it once they discover Ethereum and once they discover smart contract blockchains. Then they'll get into DeFi, realizing what those blockchains can do, not the other way around. But there will be a lot of people, probably the second half the population, that will get into it because they need to, and they have no clue that it's powered by blockchain at all.
Yeah, you've been really bullish on layer 2s, and I think we could see a layer 2 summer. Do you think that could be the catalyst for DeFi tokens? Because right now, I don't think too many new investors are coming in to use these DeFi protocols, right? Because of the high gas fees. But if we see that infrastructure built out on layer 2, that could be a completely different story.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one. I'm going to try to find some metrics here. We can take a look at some of these Glassnode charts. It's a little bit tough for me to see this right now. I'm going to resize it in a second, but I can't even see the titles of them. So percentage of addresses in profit. This could be interesting. All right, Ryan. Here we have the Bitcoin percent of addresses in profit. Right now we're sitting around, I don't know, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go 2019 to now. Okay, so right now around 70% of Bitcoin wallet addresses are in profit. That seems a little bit hard to believe. If you would have asked me before, probably would not have guessed that number.
What were you thinking?
What do you think? I don't know.
I was thinking like maybe
50-50.
It's 50% of the price. Like obviously a lot more people were coming in when Bitcoin was at $60,000. But that being said, I mean, a lot of people came in earlier too and have been holding on. And even if they sold off most of their Bitcoin, if they're still holding a little bit back from 2017 onwards, then they're probably in profit as long as they didn't buy last year.
All right, this one doesn't tell me a whole lot. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, there we go.
I like the long-term holder versus short-term holder chart. I think we can make inferences from that if you see it. If not, no big deal. There's thousands of charts we can go through here on Glassnode. If you guys are unfamiliar with Glassnode, it just pulls data directly from the blockchain, so we can see all the on-chain data from Bitcoin and Ethereum and see what people are holding, what the distributions are, what the whales are doing, what these institutions are doing. When crypto gets taken off of exchanges, it's super helpful. I really recommend getting it. Lots of different packages too. You can start at like 27 bucks a month. It goes all the way up to like $1,000 for institutional package, which we get to show you guys thanks to Glassnode.
Heck yeah. All right, here's the long-term holder net position change. This is the long-term holders, people who have held Bitcoin for more than 12 months. Are they accumulating, which would be green, or are they selling, which would be red, as a group? What do you make of this, Ryan?
So they're starting to accumulate again, and that's after that Bitcoin dipped a few months ago. I mean, that seems bullish. Let's look at the historical data, see if we can draw any references here or inferences here. It seems like long-term holders were buying up on the last dip before we went up, so I mean, I would take this as a bullish signal. Usually long-term holders know what they're doing. They're in profit. They're convicted. Is this the same chart?
Yes, this is all time.
Okay, so this is zoomed out here. Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, the net position change here is pretty low. We see these bumps back, 6 months ago, and then again a couple years ago, and they had huge peaks. Right now, we're just at the very beginning, so we'll have to see where it goes.
Very interesting indeed. I'm looking to see how many of them, big ones versus small ones, how many of them come in a row. Quite interesting stuff to look at here. All right, total balance in accumulation addresses. So these are basically the whales. Shows that they're soaking it up right now as the price is going down. I guess that makes sense. That also suggests to me that the people who know what they're doing, who have been in the space for the longest, remain highly convicted about crypto winter not being here. What do you think?
Well, to be fair, Logan, I feel like we already are in crypto winter, right? Like it depends where we're going from here. We're already down over 50%, right? So whales see that we're down 50%. There's never been a bad time to buy Bitcoin when we're down since half of its price from the all-time high. So I think this is a good opportunity to be buying. Maybe not putting all your bags in, but seeing where it goes. It is a good opportunity, but I don't really know how telling that is of where the market's going from here.
I don't know. I mean, it's been 6 months. I wouldn't call that winter. I think winter is like when it's longer than a year, right?
Sure,
like a
but
super
it's not
extended
starting right now though. It
bear
started
market.
6 months ago at its all-time high, and we've seen that downtrend happen for the past 6 months. Typically, you
Well,
don't realize
if it
the
doesn't happen, I mean, yeah, of course you don't realize it, but we don't
Mhm.
know. We don't know yet, right? We don't know if it started 6 months ago, uh, or not. But I tend to think not.
Checks out.
Let us know what you guys think. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are bullish. Drop a 0 if you are bearish. We're talking Bitcoin right now. If you want us to take a look at any other cryptocurrencies or non-fungible tokens, let us know. Drop a comment. We are going to be talking to Lolli CEO and co-founder Alex Adelman in about 15 minutes. This is a really cool platform that is bringing Bitcoin, free Bitcoin, to a lot of people. You could be earning a bunch of free Bitcoin from Lolli. I could have earned like probably a ton of free Bitcoin if I would have been using their platform. Basically, they partner up with all these companies and give free Bitcoin bonuses, like cashback incentives. The average like 7%, which it's pretty good. And it's like at every store that you probably already shop at. So you could just use this to stack some additional Bitcoin on the side. I think it's a pretty cool app. I just downloaded it today for the first time while I was preparing the interview questions, and I'm excited to talk to Alex now. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you're enjoying today's show, if you learned anything, if you're vibing, let us know. Hit the like button. And yeah, let's get back to it, Ryan. Do you want to take a look at Ether? Do you want to take a look at DeFi tokens, NFTs? Where should we go now?
I think we kind of covered ETH and DeFi tokens. If we want to look at the charts, we can. I found a pretty cool website earlier today, this cryptoslam.io. It shows a lot of different data on NFTs by trading volume and by floor price. It could be cool to look at that.
All right, I'm going to pull it up. You can break it down.
All right, so this part is what I found most interesting is NFTs by sales volume. And as you can see, well, I think you're on 1 day right now or 7 days. But if we go to all time, that's what I found most interesting. So obviously, we got Axie Infinity at the top, the biggest NFT project, but you have to remember they have millions and millions of NFTs. If you look to the right, it shows how many holders, I believe, too. And I think there was like 1.7 million. So they're obviously going to be able to do huge volume with 1.7 million people compared to these 10,000 piece profile picture collections that might only have 5,000 or 6,000 people holding their NFTs. So they've done $4 billion of sales, mostly all last year and this year. And then in second place, we still have CryptoPunks. I think that's interesting. You know, if I had to guess, I would guess that Bored Ape Yacht Club would have more sales volume than CryptoPunks by now, because really, even though Bored Ape Yacht Club just came out last year, all the trading volume for both apes and CryptoPunks were mostly last year, because before 2021, I mean, punks were maybe trading at $10,000 late 2020, and before that, maybe 1,000 for a rare one, right? So that kind of doesn't really matter compared to when you're selling a $300,000 or $400,000 NFT. But I think Bored Ape Yacht Club is probably going to be overtaking CryptoPunks for that second place spot within the next couple of months. The trading volume has been much higher on OpenSea on a daily basis than punks have been. I don't know if that's telling of anything, though. People kind of say punks are dead at this point, which maybe they are over the short term. I'm not sure. They haven't really added much value to the community. They aren't really doing events. They're not doing airdrops. Were Meebits even airdropped? I believe they were. Or were you just whitelisted if you had a punk?
I couldn't tell you that, but look at this. Tell me if I'm, seeing something here. Maybe it's a glitch. It says Bored Ape Yacht Club sales are 12 million ETH. CryptoPunk sales 777,000 ETH. So the ETH that was spent at a very, very low price, then accumulated in USD, which is why the sales are more. So if you look at ETH volume, Bored Ape Yacht Club smashes it out of the park. 12.3 million. CryptoPunks is not even at 1 million. Maybe it's a glitch. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because you would think CryptoPunks are older, right? So some people were buying an ETH when ETH was at $200.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that checks out.
But then again, I mean, apes ran when ETH was at $2,000. That was probably the bulk of the trading volume between $2,000 to $3,000. And back when CryptoPunks were really hype at the end of the summer, Ethereum was at like $4,000, right? When we saw CryptoPunks at like 120, 150 ETH per at the floor.
Yeah, but there's been years of sales of CryptoPunks at $100 ETH, right? $200 ETH. theoretically.
Yeah, but they were selling at 1 ETH at that point, or half an ETH.
I mean, how else would you explain this?
Not sure. It could be a glitch. It's a huge discrepancy.
101 million on the mutants. That is nuts.
Compared to 12 million for Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? Wow.
That's even more bullish. But it's a much smaller amount in USD. Very, very interesting.
And art block surprises me too at number 5. No one's really talking about art blocks. I think they're going to stick around. There was a ton of hype. I mean, maybe that was because of the Fidenzas and the Ringers, the ones that were selling for thousands of ETH.
But look at the ETH volume.
What, 400,000?
Yeah.
So about half of CryptoPunks in ETH volume. That's interesting too. And Top Shot, I mean, Top Shot's still really high too for being a huge collection that came out back like January of last year. It was really hyped for a couple months and then everybody kind of just stopped using it.
You think they'll come back to it?
I don't know. It'll survive, I think. I don't know if the hype will come back.
Yeah, what I see is that the supply of, holders, buyers is not keeping up with the demand of new NFTs. The demand from new buyers is not keeping up with the supply of NFTs that are coming out, basically. You could say it both ways, but there needs to be some sort of onboarding, speed up on-ramp that makes it a lot easier for most of these people to get into NFTs. Speaking of that, Coinbase NFT platform. We haven't talked about this in a long time. Coinbase NFT platform finally came out to the public, to like the masses. And
it's a flop.
And crickets.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I have no idea why that even is either. Their sales volume were like $75,000 to $100,000 per day. That's like a quarter of a Bored Ape per day for Coinbase. It's kind of ridiculous. I have no idea why this was such a flop. Maybe it was because they delayed it so long. I mean, people were waiting for months on end, and they probably just put up with using OpenSea or LooksRare or some other platform, and now they don't want to switch. I mean, I can't really draw any other inferences from this. I don't really know what's happening. Maybe they'll pick up, but I guess they're going to have to do a lot more marketing now. Definitely was a huge flop for Coinbase. And their PM is the highest PM, paid PM in crypto. Did you see that? Or not in crypto, in all of tech.
Jeez. How much does he get paid?
In 2020, his total compensation was $640 million.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
For the Coinbase
head of product.
Head of product at Coinbase?
Yes.
$600 million. I
mean, most of that had to be stock options and then they IPO'd,
yeah.
Right? But still ridiculous. And then they create a product that does 75 grand a day. We can do that.
Bruh. Okay, so here's what I think is that these people who have lots of Ether on Coinbase are probably panicking right now about their stocks and definitely don't want to buy risky JPEGs at this point in time. But we'll see more and more people join the platform slowly, make it something that is maybe more desirable from a social perspective. Not that that really even matters, because Twitter, but I think that we will see Coinbase NFT have its time in a few months. I hope, fingers crossed. At least it's out now. Brian Blockchain in the chat. Too late. Nobody on it. Yeah, that's tough.
Do you think that Coinbase failing kind of caused the NFT market to crash to some degree?
No, I think that was the inflation.
I think it probably played a role. Because think about when we were holding NFTs like 3 months ago. What were we looking for? What catalyst did we want to see to pump our bags? Like for one, it was the other side land. That came out. For one, it was ApeCoin. And then also, of course, Coinbase NFT. Now, Coinbase NFT came out. There's 12 people using the platform. We thought there would be millions of people using the platform. Nothing's really happening. It's not going to be the catalyst we thought it would be.
Have you sold any NFTs because Coinbase is not popular?
No, but I was looking forward to Coinbase pumping my bags.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't know if people would necessarily were banking on that because it's kind of an abstract. Well, we were talking about it like we were banking on it, right? So let's not pretend like we weren't. But I don't think that people would sell any of their highly convicted plays just because Coinbase is not doing well so far, right?
That makes sense.
At least I wouldn't do that. Maybe if you need the money though, you know, you're expecting it to happen on this. I mean, it was so late that like you kind of really couldn't count on it anyways, right? So I don't think people were playing it too much, at least with specific NFTs or with collections like that.
Mm-hmm. It's more like, what do we have to look forward to now? You know, like these past 3 months have been so huge and we had so much to look forward to. And now it's like, what are we waiting for? Why do we have these JPEGs? I mean, to go to New York, I guess, have some fun there.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I could ask for, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you know, Bitcoin has been perfectly correlated with the rest of the market for the past 6 months because crazy shit has been going on worldwide, right? And it still is, right? So I don't know why, you know, I wouldn't change my crypto thesis based on these other asset prices that Bitcoin happens to be correlated to at the time, right? Because when Bitcoin does its thing, it's not correlated at all. So until then, until it decouples, you know, we're just kind of in the sandbox right now. At least I tend to think so. Um, you know, I'm holding a little bit of stables, but mostly still just, you know, bag holding.
It's kind of nice to know that Bitcoin's correlated with the market right now too, because it's not just Bitcoin going down, it's everything going down. You can kind of relate the crypto markets to everything. It's not just crypto crashing right now, which could be a good thing, right? If the markets pick back up over the next few months, then crypto will probably pick back up, and that could be the catalyst we need to enter another bull market or continue this bull market, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, Bitcoin might be down in USD, but it's up in Netflix shares.
Way to be optimistic, Logan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right. We should have the interview starting in just a few minutes here. If you didn't hear us talk about it before, we're going to be having on the CEO of Lolli, Lolli. It is an app that lets you get extra free Bitcoin from the purchases you're already making. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Smash the like if you're enjoying today's episode. If you are sad about the markets today, hit the like button and just counteract that negativity with a positive like. All right. I don't know if that's how it works. Maybe.
Usually it's 2 negatives make a positive, but we won't go there. Smash the like button. Don't think about it too hard.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, I showed you the Doodles announcement. What do you think? They hired
That was
the
crazy.
president of Billboard to be their new CEO. If you guys don't know what Doodles are, it's one of the biggest NFT collections. Vibe with the art. They do some cool stuff, but I like this. I don't really know this guy too much, but the Billboard prez, I mean, I feel like it fits their brand pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like it fits their brand like really well, I guess. And also at the same time, here, let me put it back up. This is huge for Billboard. Like, I think the more crazy thing, the more shocking thing is probably what Billboard's thinking right now compared to like the NFT market. It's like, oh, Doodle's got a new CEO. Cool. Billboard's like, what the heck just happened? We're one of the biggest companies in the entire world, and our CEO just left for a company called Doodles. What is going on? If you're not in the NFT space, this is probably the weirdest thing that's happened in today's news. But I love it. I love this. I love to see it. You know, following in Dorsey's footsteps. Going to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the thing that attracts everything? Question mark.
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
If Bitcoin's the thing that attracts everyone to crypto?
No, will Bitcoin consume all assets?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm an ETH maxi. I think Ethereum's a general purpose blockchain that will capture most of the value over the long term. But I think Bitcoin will probably replace a lot of the value that gold has right now, and probably, you know, create even more value after that, because you can get fractional shares of Bitcoin. It's really easy and accessible, and everybody can access it. Whereas gold, you know, there's a lot more barriers to entry.
Maybe, but if Bitcoin scales for payments and it's the best store of value, do you not think proof of work is important?
Oh, proof of work is important to secure the network for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe it could be used as a payment currency. I'm not quite sure.
Well, Bitcoin Lightning will be.
Do we need inflation to have a true currency, though? or can it be hard capped and people will still be incentivized enough to spend it?
I think that Bitcoin will be fine as a. I mean, if there's no gas fees, if there's no network fees, right? If you cut those down, then I think it's not that big of an issue. But we'll see. You know, you can always use Dogecoin too. That's pretty cool.
And you can use Dogecoin and Shiba Inu at Gucci retailers now. Which makes
That was
me
so
bullish on
disappointing.
Shiba Inu.
That was so
I'm about to
disappointing.
buy some Shiba Inu for the very first time. Been in crypto 5 years before Shiba Inu was even out. And now I'm about to buy some Shiba Inu, go to the Gucci store and buy some Gucci clothes with Shiba Inu, because what else can you do with Shiba Inu? That would be a cool story. Maybe a cool tweet. I don't know. It would probably be worth it.
Thank you for shopping with us today. That will be $35,000. How many SHIB is that?
85 billion Shiba Inu tokens.
Would you like to pay with cash or SHIB?
You just see the Gucci dude working there in the suit. USD or Shiba Inu? How would you like to pay, sir?
Oh, man. What a time to be alive. All right, we have Alex backstage. Going to bring him on right now. Joining us today is CEO and co-founder of Lolli. Alex, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Doing well. How are you guys?
We are doing pretty well. Markets aren't great. The chat is a little bit depressed about it, but I'm hoping that this will cheer them up when they hear the news about free Bitcoin on Lolli. So I'm gonna start you off with a tough question, Alex. What's something that you believe is true that seems controversial to most people?
Let's see. I mean, I believe that good question. Right off the bat, I love it. No warm up. Okay, what do I mean, I think Bitcoin is still extremely controversial. I think that the world is entering into a time of uncertainty of money, and we're about to most likely go into a recession. Unfortunately, we're seeing hyperinflation in many countries and inflation in many other countries, and so the world, like, the money just doesn't make sense right now. And I think that the controversial opinion is, like, where should people put their money? And without giving any financial advice, I think that Bitcoin provides a safe haven. It provides a money that, like, no one governs. It's completely decentralized and gives everybody the ability to truly own their money and have a source of truth of their money, and a sense of certainty of, we know exactly how much Bitcoin's out there. Everybody has equal access to it, whether you're an institution, country, individual, anywhere in the world. If you have an internet connection, you have equal access to Bitcoin. So that's probably my still surprisingly controversial opinion that I wish the world knew.
I was hoping you would take it there, Alex. And I have a follow-up for that. Is why do you think that it's still controversial? If it's truly better, is it just a knowledge gap?
Yeah, it's a knowledge gap. It's still like day one with Bitcoin and crypto and as a whole. A lot of people are chasing the money and they're looking for the next great token, the next great NFT. I think they're a lot of people skipped over the principles in that whole thing. They started chasing the shiny object, and in most things, if you do that, it's not always going to work out. So it's I mean, I think we're starting to see a pullback in, like, a lot of the NFTs, and then I think a lot of people have realized that there's very, very few blue chips out there, and it's very hard to pick them if you're not in these, like, Telegram chats and information channels. And I see it all day. It's like I see where the information's coming from. I see who's pulling the levers, and who's actually making the decisions of, like, what gets minted, what becomes a blue chip, what doesn't. And the vast majority of people, 99.9% of people, do not have equal access to that information of what's going to be hot. So that's a lot of speculation and a lot of, like, very high floor prices. And quite frankly, most things are going to zero of the NFT space. I mean, most things are not going to have value. So one of the things I like to think about is what of anything, of all this whole new world of finance, of tokens, of NFTs, of Bitcoin, what's going to be around in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and what can I take a long position on so that I'm not like, looking at my charts every day and freaking out when it goes up and down. And there's very few things that fit that principle and have, I think, the longevity that Bitcoin does.
So how is Lolli bringing Bitcoin to the everyday person?
We're making it simple. We're making Bitcoin a like no brainer. Basically, I believe that Bitcoin is still pretty hard to get, and it's a huge risk to take your hard-earned money and go invest in it on an exchange. And so what we did with Lolli is we said, let's go make it easier. Let's go take something that someone does every single day, what the entire world does. If you're an adult over the age of 18, you have shopped somewhere. And so if you shop, my big thing is like, let's go earn Bitcoin when you shop. So that's what we're working on. We have over 1,000 merchants on the platform to date. We've given out over $9 million in Bitcoin rewards. We have over 500,000 users. So yeah, it's exciting. You now can actually earn in store in addition to earning online with the extension. We now have the mobile app that lets you earn on everyday purchases and turn your debit card and credit card into a Bitcoin rewards card.
So Lolli has given away $9 million of Bitcoin rewards. That's crazy. How do you guys actually
Wow.
make money? What's your business model? How do you
Mer-
get this Bitcoin to give away?
Merchants pay us. We operate on a cashback model. So, the cashback models have been around for 20 plus years. Basically, we partner with these merchants. We say, hey, we have these amazing, 500,000 users that all of them shop. They can choose to shop anywhere. And merchants will fight over those users to say, hey, come earn 5%, come earn 10%, come earn 15% back in Bitcoin using Lolli's platform. And every time someone shops, our merchants pay us even more. So they pay us a flat fee and they pay us a percentage to attract these 500,000 users. And then ultimately, the users that aren't shopping on Amazon and are saying, let me like take a longer time preference and see like, okay, well, where do I want to shop that can reward me in Bitcoin? They're being rewarded an absurd amount in Bitcoin. So anywhere from 1 to 30% back in Bitcoin rewards.
That's awesome. So you guys only do Bitcoin rewards right now. Do you have any plans to add any other coins to the rewards program, or are you just sticking with Bitcoin? And if so, why?
Yeah, great question. So we listen to our users. I clearly have a very long view of Bitcoin, but we've had a lot of people over the last couple years that have requested Ethereum, stable coins with high yield, Solana. So ultimately we're going to build what our customers want. So yeah, I just keep encouraging people to request what they want to earn. We're even talking with a lot of these brands about offering NFTs and looking at what that looks like. So really trying to make sure that the rewards that we're offering have real value. That's my big thing is that I don't want to give anyone anything that just goes to zero. And so we're being very diligent. We're not offering every coin out there, every altcoin. We've been really focused on Bitcoin and been very right. Since we launched, Bitcoin has gone from 4,000 to 35 now, and even hit 69 at one point. And so we're now I think like all of our early users have made an absurd amount of money, and we've already created the best rewards platform in the world just by offering Bitcoin. So now we're asking our users, okay, what else do you want to earn? What else do you care about? So we're very open to other things, and yeah, I believe in a free market over everything, and we should open up the market to whatever people want to earn as we continue to grow.
We just saw Gucci announce that they're accepting a bunch of cryptocurrencies, including Shiba Inu. That one gave me a chuckle. Do you think that there's really a use for cryptocurrency in retail?
Not in payments anytime soon, but in with NFTs, yes, and with rewards, yes. So we've been selling, we've been doing rewards for Gucci products on a ton of different merchants for the last 3.5 years, and been very successful there. We have a very high value or affluent user that likes fashion. Is buying these like Gucci purses and belts and everything, shoes. And so people want to earn rewards. The thing that payments kind of comes up every couple years, and my argument with it is people don't want to pay for something that goes up in value and that's highly volatile. There's no stretch of the imagination that would lead me to believe that I want to pay with something that is taxed on every single transaction legally, and then also that continues to go up over time. So I just don't believe that any of these altcoins are going to be better payment mechanisms than stablecoins unless you're in an emerging market that has a highly volatile currency. And so what I like to look at is the volatility index of currencies. Does Bitcoin have a tighter volatility index, lower volatility index than your native currency? Then you probably want to use Bitcoin as a medium of store value and a medium of exchange. And until that happens, a rational person would probably never use a cryptocurrency that is more volatile than the currency that their fiat, national currency provides.
So you see Bitcoin as the exit, not the trade, I believe. Do you think that eventually, if everyone's using Bitcoin, it's going to have to be accepted at stores and it's going to become the de facto payment, or will stablecoins still exist for the purpose of making payments?
Oh, I'm a huge believer in stablecoins. I think stablecoins are going to be the next wave of adoption. It's something like part of technology that I think a lot of people in crypto disregard is that you have to make things feel like they already do in the real world, or like the previous world, and you have to make them better. And so right now, stablecoins have lower transaction costs than credit card networks and debit card networks. And it's easier to move money with stablecoins than it is for moving money with fiat. And so stablecoins are a 10x plus better technology than fiat systems. So when you keep that in mind, you remove Bitcoin from the equation, you remove Ethereum from the equation, the average person is going to want to see something that like looks like their dollar and use it and is pegged to the dollar, and then they can go use that for everyday transactions. And then what's going to start to happen, and I think we're going to lead this race, is merchants are going to be incentivizing people to pay with better currencies. Like if I'm a merchant and I'm getting hit with interchange, which is around 1.5% to 2%, and meanwhile there's a technology out there called stablecoins that I can accept for like 0.1%. What am I gonna do, and what is the delta of incentive that I'm willing to offer? Probably upwards of a 1.5% to 2% to actually give the users an extra boost when they use something that is a better technology. So I think stablecoins are going to be huge as a medium of exchange. I think Bitcoin is going to be the best store of value over time because that's what it was built to do. And over time, we're going to see this shift where a lot of countries aren't going to have access to stablecoins. Or they're gonna like opt in to have stable coins like US dollar stable coins. It's gonna offset a lot of economies. And I think with the rising inflation, there's gonna be a flippening of Bitcoin being the currency that goes up over time, and US dollar that unfortunately probably goes down over time because of inflation considered. So as we start to see that flip, I think more and more people are gonna acquire more Bitcoin, hold more Bitcoin, and then rise. I see in the comments, stablecoins backed by Bitcoin, like UST, absolutely. I think that was an incredibly smart move, Terra. I think stablecoins have the potential to be Bitcoin's best friend with settlements and making Bitcoin more accessible. I thought that was an incredible move by Terra to go be friends with Bitcoin and say, hey, we're going to go put that on our balance sheet and prepare for the flippening, prepare for the hyperinflation that we're about to see. So I think that was a galaxy brain move by Do Kwon, and I think we share a very similar thesis. So huge believer in stablecoins. I think they're very risky right now, so I would be careful. Anyone that's getting these like crazy high rates, that those 20% rates that you're seeing on Anchor are just not sustainable at all. They're just like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So if something doesn't make any sense, it's probably going to like blow up in your face. And so there's a lot of things out there that I would be very wary of with a high rate. So UST on Anchor is not sustainable at all. UST maybe with like lower yields and as more of a medium of exchange, seems doable.
So you're talking specifically about stablecoins that are pegged to USD, or are you bullish on other types of stablecoins pegged to other assets? And what do you think will take over the long term? Do you think USD will still be the de facto stablecoin, or will it be something else?
So I think this next wave is part of this next wave is stablecoins pegged to all of the native currencies, so that if I'm in like one example, I was talking with these African, Nigerian specifically entrepreneurs, run a massive company over there. I won't say which. And one of the things that they were telling me is that they do a lot of business with Europe, and their currency is highly volatile, and it invokes fear in their business partners. They're super legit business. One of the bigger businesses, consumer businesses in Nigeria and many parts of Africa. And when they're doing business with Europe, they would love to trade in a European stablecoin, because they're like, let's just move our our native currency into the European stablecoin, and let's do trades with them to give them a sense of assurance, knowing that they're going to have it pegged to their euro. And so I think we're going to start to see that more and more. We live in a globalized society of people trading all the time, and hypothetically, if I'm trading with a nation that has a very high, highly volatile currency, what would be the standard in which I would want to trade? Probably, based on a US dollar standard, or built on a something like a swap that goes into their currency. So, programmable money, namely stablecoins, is going to provide for that. And I think we're going to start to see those use cases pop up a lot. And I also think that many people in the U.S. are going to completely miss it, because we're happy with our dollar. We're like, like, we don't have a lot of the same issues that I just described. Like, we're there's not a lot of problems with like paying in these centralized services and paying with Cash App, paying with Venmo. We think money movement's free because there's all these centralized databases. When you start to move money across borders, when you start to pay people across the world, you start to realize how broken money is. And then you start to realize like why Bitcoin fixes that, why decentralized money, programmable money fixes that.
Very good point. Do you have any insight into users' behavior on Lolli? Are most people holding their Bitcoin on the app, or are most people selling it as they accrue rewards?
Yeah, most people are holding, and it kind of fits our principle
That's
and what
cool.
we educate our users that Bitcoin is a savings technology. Bitcoin is a currency that is a store of value, and so no one really wants to spend their Bitcoin, and so there's a subset of our users that are moving it to exchanges. There's a subset of users that move it to cold storage, but the vast majority of them are holding their Bitcoin in Lolli, and have we've been around for almost 4 years now, so people have come to trust us, and yeah, feel comfortable keeping their money with us.
That's awesome. When you get it for free, it's a lot easier to hold. So that makes sense.
Exactly.
It's cool.
So, Alex, it seems like you are really into the payments side of crypto right now, despite Lolli being more markets and connecting with Web 2. So, when is Lolli's payment network coming out?
We're waiting for the right time. I think like I said, we're in day one. I like, one of the things that we're really focused on is making the best rewards experience and building the best bridge between the consumer and the merchant. So right now we have 1,100 merchants as partners, and these are the biggest merchants in the world. These, like, I think less than like 10 of our merchants are actually accepting cryptocurrency right now. So if you're looking at the state of the market, if 1,100 of our merchants are doing Bitcoin rewards and less than 10, not 10%, less than 10 are actually like accepting cryptocurrency, I think it shows like how early we are. And what I want to start to see is that 10 go to 100 or 1,000, and then it's like, okay, well, now you can actually pay with Lolli anywhere you are. So that's what we're building over the long term, and building this like beautiful flywheel where it's like you can earn Bitcoin, earn crypto, and then ultimately buy and sell crypto, and then at the end of the day pay with that crypto, and like I said, get an incentive for paying with that crypto. And that's the flywheel that makes Lolli like this incredible business.
That's great. Do you see other reward systems adding crypto? Is that something concerning to you, or is Lolli's user base the main selling point?
I mean, right now we have the best, rewards in the market. We have an extremely loyal, customer base. I'm not, really concerned about other companies doing things. I think it's good for Bitcoin. The more companies that do that and educate people, the market's massive. I mean, there's, 4.5 billion people with an internet connection. There's, only 100 million people have crypto right now. So, like, I think the amount of people that are going to adopt Bitcoin rewards, like, the more companies that come out, the better to validate the concept. And then it just becomes an execution game. Can we out execute these competitors, and we have a massive head start. We've been in the reward space. My last company was acquired by Rakuten, the biggest cashback company in the US and many parts of the world. We've been in the reward space as a team, 12 of us now, for 10 plus years. So I think we know reward space better than most people. And then also my team and I have been in Bitcoin since 2013, Ethereum since 2017. So we've been deep in the space for a long time, and I don't knock on wood, but I think very few teams know the space better than we know it.
Certainly sounds like it. Do you ever see the need for a token or some sort of decentralized governance? Would you integrate with blockchain for any reason?
If it ever made sense. Right now, I think that the thing that makes most sense is focusing on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still in its infancy, and stablecoins even are in their infancy. And I think that there's so much that can be done, and there's so much value of those things. I think if we launched a token now, I think we wouldn't serve. I don't think it would serve our users. We've had competitors that have emerged that have said, "Oh, we're going to do some shitcoin," and they emerge with some token, and it crashes, and their user base is pissed and churns. So we're our users love Lolli. They're up 10x, 9x since we launched. So as long as we're aligned with the best currencies that I think are have long-term value, our users are going to be happy. So I just am not a believer that you can create a token better than Bitcoin, better than stablecoins, probably better than Ethereum, without having massive scale. And even though 500,000 users is a lot for a Web 2, Web 3 kind of bridge product, for crypto and for true scale that you would need to actually create a decentralized network, we're not there yet. So I don't think I would ever launch one, but I don't say never. There's plenty of things in the future that could emerge that I am not seeing, or if I see other companies maybe do this successfully. But I have yet to see a company that has not created some sort of Ponzi-nomics scheme with their own token, and most of these have not worked. So and what happens is the consumer gets the rug pulled out from under them, and then they're pissed, and then they become they churn. So we're trying to build a customer base that loves us, loves Bitcoin, and has a healthy interaction with the Lolli brand.
Great answer.
And I assume Lolli operates mostly off-chain right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you considering making direct-to-wallet payments with the Lightning Network or another layer 2 once that infrastructure is there for you to do that?
We do on-chain payments. We do on-chain. You can move your Bitcoin to any cold storage, any wallet, or anything. Lightning is Bitcoin's day one. Lightning is day zero. I love Lightning Network. Been playing around with it forever. I think it's fascinating. And I love the team at Lightning Labs in particular. I think there's things that are happening in the space, but the people that are really trying to advance Lightning are doing it on more of the remittance side or on the payment side. And I just don't, like I said, I don't think Bitcoin payments are there yet. So I'm not going to devote a lot of resources to go build something. We are hyper focused on giving people the most amount of rewards. So I could go hire 2 extra engineers, 3 extra engineers, and go build a Lightning product, but the amount of people that would use it is insignificant and wouldn't actually add any real value to our business. So there's just not it doesn't solve a lot for us. We do batch transactions. Bitcoin works well with batch transactions on the transferring process. So we're not getting hit with crazy fees. And we're not, we're just doing it on when people transfer. So, when people put in a transfer request, we send it. It's not, Lightning doesn't fix our problems. And maybe in the future it will, but I'm bullish Lightning long-term, but we're dragging our feet a little bit because it just doesn't make sense for our business right now. For a lot of businesses, it does.
That makes a ton of sense. How do you think Bitcoin will perform under high inflation? Are we too early for Bitcoin to be a viable inflation hedge in the short term?
Yeah, I think we're going to go into some very interesting times over the next year. And anyone who tells you that they know exactly what's going to happen is full of shit. Can I cuss on the show? Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. Fine. So yeah, I just don't. I don't think anyone truly knows what's going to happen. I think that we could probably expect because there's so much chaos right now, and because a lot of the world doesn't know, what hit them with COVID, and nothing makes sense. I mean, we just printed trillions and trillions of dollars of the world's standard currency, and we're just sitting around being like, oh, like nothing's going to happen. Like this inflation, I was calling, 2 years ago, right? When COVID first started, you cannot print trillions of dollars and change the world's economy overnight and not expect inflation to just skyrocket. So if inflation continues to increase, we can probably expect people to go somewhere and move their money outside of the US dollar, outside of fiat currencies, because keep in mind, like if you study global economics, like everything is essentially pegged or influenced by the US dollar. We are on a fiat standard, a US dollar standard, and anytime there is uncertainty in US dollars, people get freaked out. People want to move somewhere, so they either go to real estate, gold, stocks, or now we have a technology that can hypothetically save us, which is Bitcoin. And I think that when I look at like over time, if I were to have a chart that I could then put in my on my wall for the next 30 years, it would be the chart of where people retreat to. So it's like, do people go into real estate? Yeah, of course. People love real estate. You can live in real estate. You can rent out real estate. It's a productive asset. Do people go into gold? Yeah, gold's always been around. Like it's probably going to keep being a hedge against inflation for the history of time. Do people go into Bitcoin? That's where I think that a lot of people are kind of looking back at like 2009, 2010, which birthed Bitcoin, and saying this is literally what Bitcoin was made for. Do we have an opportunity here to go into an asset class that is a better store of value than anything else? And I think this is the true test of Bitcoin. My belief is that people overwhelmingly will go into Bitcoin over the next few years. I think there's probably going to be a shock to the system, and I think that shock in the system is going to hurt a lot of people if they bet their life savings on any one thing. And so, yeah, I'd say, proceed with caution, do your own research, and study Bitcoin. I think if you read the Bitcoin Standard, I think it gives you a really good picture of like the state of money, and kind of where we're at today, and why Bitcoin can fix a lot of our problems and provide a better store of value. So we'll see.
Alex, right now you have a pretty young user base, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are
around
you
18 to 34.
So are you focusing at this point, when you have that user base, are you focusing more on, doubling down, keep targeting the youth, or are you trying to fill the older gap now?
I think that like I want to build a company that's around in like, the next 10, 20 years. And so I think these 18-year-olds are eventually going to be 28-year-olds, right? And going to have a lot of spending power. So I think that I want to, we really like open up our marketing pretty broad, and just like see over time who's taking an interest into it. And that's what we've seen naturally, is that, yeah, like our brand is like young and fun, and we tweet and a lot of like memes, and put a lot of memes on Instagram, which caters to a younger demographic. But we're welcoming anyone.
Awesome. So we have about 2 minutes left. Alex, I just want to give you the floor. Why should the audience go try Lolli?
It's free Bitcoin. If I have to convince you to go get free Bitcoin on purchases you're already going to make, I mean, if you're going to Nike and shopping anyway, why would you not earn 5% back? If you're going to Adidas, why not earn 9% back? Like it's we have 1,000 merchants, and so I just like don't see why people wouldn't use Lolli at this point in time, especially with our new card link system that gives people the ability to earn on any debit or credit card. Like if you have a debit card that has no rewards, it turns it into a Bitcoin rewards card. If you have a Amex card, it gives you rewards on top of it. This person in the comments says nothing is free. Go use Lolli and tell me it's not free. We'll never sell your data. We don't make money off of selling data. We make money when merchants pay us, when you shop. So it's up to you to use it or not. Feel free to leave the money for everybody else if you don't want to use it.
That was a great pitch, Alex. This has been incredible. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Great to see you guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Alrighty, that is our Friday show for you. Moon or bust, your home for all things crypto at Benzinga. Ryan, what are we doing the rest of the day? I know we have a special day. We have a special day. I think we should take a few seconds to let everybody out there know that we are going to be doing some live streaming all night long. All right, we're going to be pumping out content across all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're going to be bringing in some creators in the space, some financial experts who look a little bit like our age, and we're going to be hanging out with them. So if that's something that interests you, if you don't have anything else to do on this Friday night, come talk to us, come hang out. We'll have stuff going on. Without further ado, though, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash the like button. Go follow Ryan on Twitter and check out Lolli. Great interview. Great show. Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome, Logan.